A convicted offender and a Baltimore County 911 dispatcher are facing multiple charges of R and assault. Police state that 31-year-old Christopher Prutney and his fiancee, 34-year-old Frances Conda, committed crimes against minors ranging in age from the age of 6 to 15. Prutney has prior crime convictions, but you won't find him on the state's database. Conda worked for the county as a 911 dispatcher. They both live in Parkville. Charging documents back from 2010 case against Christopher Prutney, dealing with offenses from 2007 to 2009. Prutney, 18, when he was charged, pled guilty in 2013. Social workers and police found Prutney in bed with a minor when they responded to the home in July following a complaint by a parent. Police state that one of the children told investigators that Prutney and Conda both went after them nightly. Video obtained by the news shows the moments last week when Baltimore County SWAT teams swarmed the couple's home on Wendell Drive in Parkville. Some of the children were in foster care with other parents, some lived at the suspect's home. Documents suggest that other children met at Prutney's home because he had all of the, quote, interesting games. It also stated that on the charging documents from 2010 case dealing with offenses dating back to 2007 in which a then 18-year-old Prutney was charged and eventually pled guilty. In that case, a parent noticed what was going on. 5-year-old boy told investigators that Prutney had went after him more than 10 times, and most of that took place when the two were playing video games. Prutney is not listed on Maryland's offenders database. In 2013, Prutney pled guilty to an armed robbery charge. Charging documents also suggest that the men intimidated and tampered with the investigation by hiding messages in the children's clothing, reading, quote, I love you and I miss you. Both men have been denied bail, and both men have preliminary hearings on October 28th. All right, so this is, again, one of the many stories that I was not aware of. This happened back in 2022, so this is pretty much about, we'll give it about like a year and a portion later. And we haven't heard any updates. We don't know of the whereabouts or what is specifically going on with this husband and husband couple that had adoptive children, and one of which, was found at home, directly with one of the adopted children, caught by SWAT. I guess you could say in a sting. I would have actually loved it if Chris Hansen would have pulled directly through the door. This is one of the reasons that we need Chris Hansen directly out here. Um, you know, I I don't even know realistically how to even go about this story because you have two of the main suspects directly out here, and it just so happens that both of them were in or are still in a relationship and or a marriage. One was working for 911, so you can already see how problematic that is and how that person can happen to hide certain things just in case a parent decides to call. He can listen directly into the call and he can take that call and he can figure out how he's going to respond to it, or if any type of help is actually going to show up while his husband is doing whatever it is that his husband wants to do. And I'm not going to sit up there and state the other obvious thing directly with that, but it is what it is. Some people are going to figure it out. Some people are going to figure it out. Like I said before, what people do in the dark will always come to the light. And the other thing that I want to point out is the fact that for whatever reason, Maryland did not put him on the registry. I'm a little bit dumbfounded directly by that. Not really. Not really. When you think about who's in power and who's in control. But again, I'm quite dumbfounded how he wasn't put on the registry. Not even by the officials or the police or the higher ups directly out there, but more so dealing with the parents, more so dealing with the guardians directly out there. Because it seems like the only people who technically did their job was social services, but I expect no less because social services is good for coming into people's homes and taking people's kids. So they did their job, right? Bravo, right? That's what they normally do. Other than that, they don't really serve a purpose. They realistically don't. If you listen to a lot of kids and they tell their stories growing up in foster homes and dealing with social services, you will see how bad and detrimental a lot of this actually is. But that's whatever it is at this moment in time. The main focus is, of course, these two. And as I've stated to people before, I will do my best to try to highlight a lot of these stories to try to make a lot of people aware. Because again, I'm just going to reiterate for some of the Captain Obvious is out there. Some people be like, "Oh, this is the old story. I remember." Yeah, that's you. I don't, because I back in 2022, I was doing a whole host of different stories and different things during that time. So a lot of things get past you, right? You can't see every single thing, even if you got 4 eyes. You still can't catch every single thing, right? And like I said before, I'm going to put this directly out there because we need to know. People need to know if these two people are still around. People need to know if these people are serving any of the actual time that they should realistically be serving, or if anything at all. And if they are out, are they on the registry? And if they are they around any type of schools or any type of areas where you will mostly find children? Again, this is just an honest concern, pointing out the fact that it is vastly dangerous directly out here for children. And like I've always stated before, adults do not care about children. I'm still waiting for the day out of all the videos that I do where people always want to try to combat me and they want to try to debate me and they want to try to say that I'm wrong. Anytime I continuously do these videos and I state this over and over again, I never have that same energy. And yet again, it's proven a fact of what I've always stated for years, that adults don't care about kids. You got all of these things going on with kids, but yet adults are the main ones in power. Adults are the main ones contributing to this. It's not other kids that are doing this, it's adults. You got people in their 20s, their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, their 60s, their 70s, their 80s. You got some of the oldest directly out there contributing to this type of stuff, to these type of crimes, not getting prosecuted. And then on top of that, not only that, you also have people that are in law enforcement that are doing this. You got people that are in government that are doing this. You got people that are on the school board doing this. You got people that are teachers doing this. You got doctors and nurses and lawyers and DAs that are doing this. So you're literally having all of these quote unquote powerful and educated people taking part in this type of, for lack of a better word, delinquency that is taking place. Again, you gotta, monitor what you say on YouTube, right? And like I said before, it's a shame that normal adults, logical thinking adults, fully developed adults aren't finding this problematic. If I really wanted to start a whole channel specifically just talking about this, I would be here up until, the end of time, going over stories, hundreds of stories. And I don't even have to just deal with the United States. I could probably just do 100,000 videos just by itself on the United States. But then when you add in Canada, when you add in Asia, when you add in, Europe, right? Australia, where I can go to a variety of places around the world and you're going to see an abundance of stories. And I can literally go by, country to country in a lot of these places. And as I've stated before, it just proves what I've always stated, that adults do not care about kids. But the only reason that we're able to survive and live and look forward to it tomorrow is due to the effect of kids being here. But yet, this is how adults tend to treat and go about things. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like I said, the system is broken all over the place, and consistently every single time, I always see the system failing the kids.